We're in 2005. You're playing Willie Fingerman in V for Vendetta. Character, and it's such an like nice balance between like over the top comic book villain with an extra added flair of rated R menacing quality. Like before, it was the trendy thing to
It was
do.
the Dark Knight before the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're threatening Natalie Portman's character verbally, Evie, somewhat physically before quickly being taken out by V. Literally left caught with your pants down. Um, so few
Fringe.
questions about that. My first one is you. So I know Natalie Portman graduated from Harvard with a bachelor's in psychology. You have the degree in astrophysics. Did this happen to spawn any interesting conversations on set?
And it's a shame that it didn't really um, because of I don't know star quality and things like this, and because she started off as a young girl, I think she's been very protected. So she was always whisked away from the set before we could do anything. I mean, I did talk to her bodyguard about whether he'd take a bullet for her, but and he was going on. He's saying, well, prevention is better than cure. So
Wow. It depends where.
All right, wait, how long? We always know, you can spend 30 hours on set, and then some of your stuff winds up on the cutting room floor. As far as your scene concerned, how long were you there, and how long? Of course, how long did it take to shoot your scene? And is it okay if we can discuss how it was shot, or you know?
yeah, okay. So there was I don't know. There's some technical thing they wanted to come back on. So we did 2 weeks, and then they decided they wanted to do it all again for 2 weeks. So it was sort of 4 weeks of me being there, um, and yeah, it was really there was a mix of the director working on the emotional stuff, and the Wachowskis working on the secondary thing, doing all the stunts. So there's like you're doing two halves of these things, so you get all your emotional stuff for the, and then you've got to work with all the stunt crew, wires and flying through the air and things. So yeah, you wouldn't have thought that I needed a stuntman for that little that little shot, but I had my own stuntman. There's just a bit where the knife goes through my belt. They didn't want to risk me losing my tackle, so the stuntman took this. And the moment of just the fall, I said I can fall and whatever, but they go, no, we're going to protect you. So some guy just does the actual moment of falling. So it's like going, okay, there's these two bits where okay, I had a stuntman to do something.
I noticed that the guy in and I don't have his name on hand, but the other man in the scene with you, I think he's a stuntman also. Was he allowed to do his own? Was he allowed to do his own stunts, or is that like contractual as an
That's why they
actor?
had the stunt. Yeah, they had the stuntman in. There's the two of us actors and a stuntman was the third guy. So
Oh,
yeah, he was in order to do all the fight sequences. They decided it was better to have a stuntman doing that as a sort of a minimal thing. So yeah, and it's quite amazing because you never know who's behind the mask.
yeah.
That's a great thing. You've got V turning up in the mask, and then you go, is it the actor? Is it the stuntman? Is it the stand-in? I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Wow, now that is great. That's very good insight. And speaking of that, like with a movie like V for Vendetta, I think we can agree it's a very methodical movie. Was there doing filming, at least when you were there, was there any room for improv and being improv or being on spur of the moment, or did you have to stick directly to Wachowski's script? Like, did it have to be word for word?
Yeah, I think it had to be sticking to the script. I mean, within anything, you do a bit of creativity in the rehearsal process but I think they were trying their best to follow as close as they could the comic. So I thought they when they set it up, trying to really follow Alan's whatever vision of whatever. But it's a really interesting. Afterwards, he still wasn't happy. I had a talk with him, and he just go, "Oh, I was really hoping that you'd really like this one because I thought it really stuck to what you were trying to say and do." So,
And the director James Mateek, he seems to be a frequent collaborator with the Wachowskis. He's served as AD on the Matrix trilogy. He directed the series Sense8. Of course, V for Vendetta was the first film that he took the helm on as the director. And that's quite an undertaking. The last movie we did, Paid in Full, it was Charles Stone III's first movie, and the cinematographer Paul Saracey was talking about the challenges of being a first-time director on a feature film. What was your experience like working with James McTeague as it being his first feature?
Yeah, he was just a very nice guy. And I think this was because the Wachowskis were there and they had their power and they were doing all the stunt stuff. There's a lot of, I don't know, pressure there. And it's like, in a way, he was, it shows that he must have been doing a good job because of the great performances that everybody gave.
Yeah.
The thing I liked was that I was his wife's favorite character.
No.
So he told me this to say there, and of all this sort of thing, you go, my wife really likes. Oh, great, okay.
What a strange. I mean, no disrespect to your performance. Your performance was great, but that even makes it that it's his wife's favorite character even stranger because it's such a strange character for specifically a woman to be like, yeah, that character.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
We would be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that, of course, V for Vendetta was director of photography Adrian Biddle's final film. Of course, him having passed away in 2005 on December 7th. Just from the time you spent with him, what was your memory like with him from the last time he was in front of the lens?
I think it's this thing for me about relating to the camera person and whatever. I think you could tell the intelligence. This is often something that's the people involved in camera stuff. They're got a different mindset. They're on technical and sciencey stuff. So for me, it's like I know how to relate to these guys, and I can relate to the artistic guys on the other level. So I just felt like his presence was there, being very intelligent about the whole thing. And when you see what you're doing on the screen and where he's pitching you and the colors he's using and things, you're thinking, real magic.
Well, I think you're the first person to ever bring together astrophysics meets acting. So I'm there. I'm signing up.
V for Vendetta, this movie has become representative of a state of rebellion against corrupt power system as much as it is a great film. The mask becoming the face of Anonymous, it's seen on people from all walks of life in various marches and protests across the world. How does it feel to have taken part? And I know you said that it wasn't the smash hit out of the gates in the UK that you were hoping for, but to be a part of something that's going to stand the test of time and already has, being such an impactful movie on society.
Yeah, I feel very pleased and proud, and it did feel that, I don't know, people did put in really good performances for it, and it left, for me, it just felt right from the off, this whole thing, government should be afraid of their people and people not afraid of their governments, this stuff. And I just thought, this is a great sort of thing that we should be saying as it is part of our democratic thing. It feels, as the anonymous mask took off, I was just thinking, I wish they'd have given me one at the end of the sort of thing, it's a wrap, here you go, have a mask. Yeah.
Let me ask you this before we move on. Of course, like we'll move on from V for Vendetta, but before we move on, is there any interesting stories from set, or just, like you say, you met the cameraman, seeing how intelligent they were because their mind works different? Interesting stories or fun facts you picked up from being and working on V for Vendetta?
There's a sort of interesting moment of not working on the V for Vendetta. It was a Sunday on my day off. We were filming in Berlin. And I thought, let's go and find some improvisation. And I was asking sort of all the other people, do you want to come along with me to see if I can get on stage tonight and do a piece of improvisation? And they're thinking, you're mad. One, it's your day off. And two, is improvisation. Improvisation is scary. What are you doing? You're going to go to, into the center of Berlin. So I went, and there was a Russian team at the time working. So we did some improvisation in 3 languages. The Russians were being translated by the East Germans, and the West Germans were translating me from the English, and we were able to improvise in 3 languages. So this is...
That's amazing.
Awesome.
And hilarious to me that, that's like the equivalent of somebody that works at a grocery store Like, all right, I just got off work. I'm gonna go bag some groceries over there at the other grocery store tonight. The job is never done. It's your day off.
That's the trailer.